All right, I have an American lock, a padlock. It's a Series L50. I can only find stuff on the AL50 on how to take it apart, and I don't know if you can fully gut it if that one is welded. This one you can fully get, and it's a lot shinier than this one. I put this one through a parts washer. Probably need to spray it a little bit more with some Houdini, so that because it's kind of dry. But I'm actually going to also polish this up a little bit using Barkeeper. Barkeeper? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Barkeeper's Friend, something like that. All right, but I'll go through that each one. Look at the little tab. So first I'm going to pick it. Now I don't have the key for this, very unfortunately. So me putting this back together is much harder, but I couldn't find any manuals on how to take it apart and put it back together. So I'm going to go over them now. Okay. So first I'm going to pick this. It's wafer. I'm going to use this edge right here to push down, and then I'm going to use this edge here to push up. So first, just gently tapping them. Not using the first one, just kind of binding. Nothing on that. Check the second one. No, nothing on the third one. Fourth one, nothing. Fifth one, nothing. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it upside down in my hand because I find it easier to pick downward. Nothing on 1, 2, 3, 4's up. Good click on 4. Flip it back over, checking the other side. 1 might be up. Nope, 2. 2 had a little click. 3 had a little click. 4 had a little click. And I think that's it on this side. Okay, let's flip back over. Okay, here's this edge. Check at the top. Don't feel anything back over here. 1, 2. What happens is wafers are really close together. Really slow pressure. The wafers are really close together, so you can easily kind of push on one and don't get any of that feeling on the second one. So really, you have to really be careful that when you're pushing them, you're feeling for the little edges, because you might be pushing two at the same time. Because this is an asymmetrical key. I'm going to lighten up with the tension, just so I can make sure I get movement. I could be holding too much tension. Can't feel anything. Let's go back to the other side. Let's ease up on the tension. Oh, there we go. Wow, that took a lot longer than I thought. Okay, so now let's talk about gutting this. So now if you skip forward, this is the gutting section. So once it's open, you just need a flathead screwdriver. See if you can see inside there. Try to get the angle right. Very hard to get this angle. Bring this light a little closer. Okay, there you go. So you can see there's a little screw in there. There it is. So use a little flathead and take it apart. What that's going to do, it's going to make room for a pin to drop out. So there's a pin that actually has to drop out. So when you take this out, if you look inside here, so that there should be a pin showing up, but there's not. So spray some lube into there if it's not, and then the pin's going to fall out in this direction. So if you can't, just get something. You could put like a material like a sock, anything you want in there if you want to damage it, and then you can use another lock and hit into it. And I've lubed this up enough, I think that it's just going to be out. See if I can get the angle in there. Up, see the pin in there? You can see the pin. Just give it a couple seconds, you can kind of look at it. See that pin? So the pin fell out. So I know now the core is going to fall out. So again, this could use some love. You could use a pick to grab it and pull. And now this entire core is going to come out. Right? So however you want to do it, sometimes I did it with a flathead. Just kind of pushed it in there and pulled on it. I'm going to use a little love this way. And now the core fell out, right? So here's the core, and you can see my Houdini that's on here. So I'm going to put this like this. All right, so this is the groove that held it in, and you can see it's nice and shiny. This is what I'm going to get the outside to look like. So this is nice and shiny, so this is out, okay? So that's one piece, right? And this is where obviously all the mechanisms, you can see how close all of them are together, right? So now you could drop this, and there's that pin. There are two balls in there, right? So be ready for that to come out. So this right here, that mechanism is just held in. All you got to do is apply enough force and it will work its way down, okay? If you can't get it out, you could try using some tweezers to grab this edge right here, see? Grab this. And basically what I'm doing is I'm working that ring back and forth to pull it out if it's a little jammed. I promise you it will come out. So if you can't get it out, like I'm not able to right now, You just got to keep using some love. I'm going to give a little wiggle, and I'm going to give a little force. And again, if you can't get it out, you can 100% wrap it. Like I can take this pivot towel right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put it down here and hold it in, and I'm going to smash it on my floor. Okay, I smashed it on my floor, and now it came out. Now I didn't damage anything, and be careful because there are 2 ball bearings that are going to come out. So the spring just came out, and there are 2 ball bearings. So once this fully comes out, you're going to have some ball bearings come out with it. So there are the 2 ball bearings. Now let's go a little bit deeper. So again, I use this to kind of smash it down. So that's a way to get it out. So that's out, right? And this is for the L50, not the AL. I heard it doesn't fully come apart. If you want to fully take this apart, you can also remove this part, kind of give a little tilt action, figure out the angles, and you will eventually get this to come off. And then when you get this off, you can also pull this spring out. Now there's one little spring that's going inside of there, so you can kind of manipulate it and work that spring out so you can bring the side up, like I'm doing here. And now the spring's off. Okay, so now basically I've taken it apart. So here's your body. Here is your shackle. So let's kind of put them in order. So here's your body. Here's your spring. Here's one of your mechanisms here to hold in the ball bearings. So there's 2 ball bearings. Okay. This goes on top of here. This spring goes with this. So it kind of goes in this order, like so. Then you have the pin that holds in the core, and of course this in between. So that's kind of, generally speaking, bring that down, everything you're going to see inside here. So what I'm going to do now is I put this in a parts washer. I cleaned it up. So these are all the disassembled components, okay? So like I said, one of the biggest things, if you can't see the pin through that hole, you got to hit it. And then when you're sure that pin is out, don't forget to make sure the pin is out. When you can see the pin inside of here, that's when you can take something here and slam it down and get it out. But again, if that pin isn't showing because it's all gunked up, it's not like other stuff where the screw is actually holding it in. The screw isn't holding it in. The screw is holding the pin like so, that is holding it in this groove. So if that pin is not showing like that in that hole, you're not taking that out. So let me shine this up. I'm going to use little bar keepers, and I'm going to shine this up, and then I'll continue the video putting it back together. All right, I'm back, and this is just a little bit of bar keeper's friend. Look at that difference, and it really took me just a few minutes. I didn't go crazy. I want to make sure this, it's an acid. It's a type of acid. A little bit, scrubbing action, but it looks very nice. So now what I forgot was, look at the difference. So I'm going to clean it up real quick, and then I'll be back. All right, so let's put this back together. All right, so now we got our core body. First thing we're going to do is put this part back together, this mechanism to hold the ball bearings. All right, so first let's put the spring back on. So I'm going to put the spring back on, put it in there. Once you get it in there, you're just going to kind of force this down, get it started in the hole, and now it's in. Okay, so now really important, when you get this on, just to be clear, this is not symmetrical, okay? So you have a larger end and you have a smaller end. So let's just kind of make it where you can see both. Okay, so this is the larger end and this is the smaller end. Now, even this is not symmetrical between here and here. So this is longer and flatter, and this is shorter, it has a little bit of hook. So you want the shorter hook piece to be that right there, this little shorter piece. See, that one's longer, this is shorter, has a little bit of indentation. That needs to actually hook onto the spring. So when you put this in, you want the small hook piece, it's a little bit smaller. You need that side to be what hooks into the spring. So now I'm going to put this on first. So I'm going to get past that groove, and we're just going to kind of slide around. Don't manhandle it because it is brass. All right, so I'm going to put this in first. I'm going to kind of work it in. You just got to get the hang of it. So I'm going to redo this. So now put this in first like this. Push it all the way in. I messed it up again. Put this in. Now put it all the way in, and now it's in. So that small piece. If you don't do it that way, this will not fit inside of here. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we are going to get the shackle in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, so you can see there is a hole in one. You can see all of the hole all the way down there, and you can see there's nothing on that one. I want the spring in the nothingness, and I'm going to put this tip into the spring, okay? I'm going to push it down all the way, locked, okay? All the way. And now that it's all the way, I'm going to hold it all the way in, and now I'm going to do the ball bearings in there, okay? So drop one, drop two. I'll use a pick or tweezers and just push the ball bearings where they belong. So I'm gonna let the spring go out a little bit, just so I can see them. And once you push it all the way in, the springs will disappear. So now this is really important, okay? So once you get it in there, the ball bearings are gone. They're each in, you can't see them. See where the hole is? There's the hole, see it? Okay, so that, oh, the ball bearing fell out. So you gotta go perfectly vertical on this, don't mind me. So now, you want the spring mechanism to be on this side, okay? Not this side, but this side. You want that loop on that side. So you're gonna push that in. Okay, so we're gonna push that spring in. Like so. Just gonna work it in a little bit. There we go. And you push it all the way in like that. Once it's all the way in, this thing is held, okay? So it's locked. So if you put the spring up at the top, it will still work when you put it back together, but you will not have spring tension anymore. You won't, okay? So I push it all the way in, you know it worked because it's holding ball bearings in, okay? And you'll know because this will fit in. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take this pin and we're gonna put it in here, okay? So if you have the key for this, the rest of it is so easy to do, but I don't have the key. So I have to pick it twice now. So what happens is once you get this pin in, you're gonna put the pin in, right? So this is where the pin is, right? So you'd think, so here's the pin, you would think you'd want the groove, right? You want the groove in the pin, you don't, okay? So you want it to be where there's no groove. The no groove is gonna face the pin, okay? So we're gonna put it in this. What's gonna happen is, so look, the groove is on the opposite side. There's no pin there, but there's where the pin is. You can put this in, like so, in a lock position, like I'm doing. You're gonna take the pick, I'm gonna use the back side, and I'm gonna kind of push them down, push them forward, it helps it become flush. So now that it's flush, the reason I put it in backwards is because if you have the key, you'll put it in here, you'll turn it, and it'll relock 180 degrees. Now the pin is on the right side, and the spring is wound tight, so you actually have something giving you spring tension. So right now, if you put this the other way, you'd be pretty close to be done. You can open it up and then you could just put the thing in, but it wouldn't be right. So you need to put opposite. So now what I have to do, unfortunately, is I have to pick it twice. So I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna edit the picking out because it's gonna be super boring for you. Looking for the binders, come on. Remember I told you they're really close together, so you got it, there we go. So now, watch, I'm actually creating spring tension. Okay, it's gonna stop here. I'm going to keep pushing it and kind of give a little wiggle. We want this thing to go 180. Now I went 180 and it's actually providing spring tension. This is now locked. And again, if you have the key, you'd be good because now you can open it and put this in. But I don't have the key, so I have to pick it one more time. Now this thing can come right out. If I slam it down, it'll come out and it'll be all undone. Again, having the key is really helpful. So I'm gonna have to pick it one more time. So without the key, very annoying, very difficult. Back over. There we go, good Lord. Okay, so now it's picked. Gonna open it. So now that the shackle's open, I finally can set the pin. So now all I'm gonna do is look down here and make sure the pin is not fully seated. That's very simple. So let's take this in here, push the pin in. So we'll push this in a little bit, just make sure it's in. Okay, so now again, you're looking in, no pin visible. So now we can put this in and we could get that tied up. And now we are back together. This guy's back together, it has spring tension. Again, that's why you have to kind of go that 180 degree turn. And now it actually has spring tension. So if I bring this back, if I brought this back to a lock, there's actually spring tension. If you don't have any spring tension that's pushing this back naturally, like it is, then you probably put it in and then turned it and then locked it. You need to put it in like I did it, the opposite direction, go to 180, which will relock again, and then one more time open it so you can finally put the key, finally put the screw into it. All right, so that is how you kind of take it apart and put it back together.